What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Anti-Gravity Group podcast, live, this time on purpose. My name is Braden Carlson.
I'm Taylor Jesse.
My name is Shane, or as you might know me, Postart.
My name is Matthew, or Macho Matt.
And we have another guest. It is Tim Lehr, the Wildman himself from Wildman Rocketry. How are we doing today, Tim?
Great. How's it going, guys?
Oh, not too bad.
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm excited you chose this platform to make this big announcement that I'm going to continue to tease the people with for the entire duration of this podcast.
Big announcement.
So yeah, huge,
real big,
huge. Get real revved up. I
think it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's definitely big. I feel like the way we just presented it seems like we're being sarcastic now. I swear to God, just stay and it's worth it. So what we're going to do here is we have a couple topics of discussion, and then towards the end here, Tim is going to tell you all what's a brewing, and then we're going to cut to the live chat to take some questions about it. So the first thing I have here on my list is the Fluctus, because I just made the video for the Wildman channel, kind of doing a basic setup on that thing. And so you want to give us a little more info on where this thing's coming from, Tim?
So the Fluctus is something that I got from one of the Rocketeers that went out to Balls last year and ran across somebody testing this thing. Got in contact with a guy who's actually from France. Talked with him a little bit, seemed like a nice enough fella, and got one of them, started playing with it, and found out that he wants to market it in the U.S. One thing led to another. We've got some here. We've got more on the way. I haven't heard anything really bad. It's all been good. There's some new things that he's doing. Supposedly, he's going to make it Bluetooth capable to Android and iPhones. So that's a big plus in my book.
Yeah, definitely. That was like one of the big complaints I had was, for those who aren't familiar, it's really like an all-in-one integrated flight computer system. It's got built-in GPS, it's got a gyrometer, accelerometer, and it has this virtually unlimited programming system where you can set it, you can use it for air starts, and it's got off-axis detection, and you can set staging to be going a minimum speed. It's got
multiple outputs, but I think it also has the terminals where you can solder on for like servos and stuff too, right?
It's got
pressure transducer for EX stuff.
Yeah,
so it can do pretty much everything.
Well, it's got 4 additional outputs, and then it has 2 inputs, so you can.
That's what I was trying to say.
Like, if you really were about that life, you could have like active canards and like crazy stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at.
Not for us, but somebody's excited out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But it kind of
Canards are bad enough without being active.
At least if they can move, though, there's a better chance of it flying straight. You count the amount of times you've seen a Sidewinder where they weren't like quite lined up, and they sidewind. They certainly do.
Hey, even if they are lined up, the Sidewinder sidewinds. So
I was thinking Amber, Sidewinder, pretty much same thing.
Yeah, the Sidewinder is just so easy to go to. It's right on the tin. Like, why'd you think it was going to fly straight? The name is Sidewinder.
Yes. What could go wrong? We're putting fins on a nose cone. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a super cool computer, and right now the pricing is $299, right, for the whole system.
$299 gets you both ends, the ground station and the part that goes in the rocket. No add-ons. You don't have to buy a bunch of other stuff to go with it. That's the one thing I like about it is it's all one system.
Yeah, I have to say too, like I'm really good at presenting videos as if I know what I'm talking about, but the true godsend of making that video work was the fact that the manual is so detailed and well put together. And so yeah, if you are considering buying one or you have one, oh no, he's gone.
Uh-oh.
Come back.
Stand by, folks.
Well, anyway, we'll keep talking about the Fluctus here for a second. It's the manual's super intuitive, so it has a couple little weird tidbits about it. One of the things I'm not particularly fond of is that you can't just plug the altimeter directly in to program it. You have to connect it to the base station through the computer to get to the programming. So that's a little bit chaotic, but it would
You
be
mean
cool.
rather than connecting the altimeter straight to the computer?
Yeah.
Is that
So if,
yeah?
Yeah, so if you just plug the altimeter straight into the computer, all you can pull is like the black box data. There is a chance, I will add, that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and that is possible. But from what I understand thus far, that is the case. So, yeah, I guess we'll just keep talking about the Fluctus while we wait for Tim to return. There's never a dull moment when we try to do the show live, you know?
Yeah, it's always something.
It's the whole announcement process seems a little moot without him here.
Slightly, yeah.
I'm sure he'll be back.
So what's interesting about the Fluctus is it has like a display, and like when you fire it up, the display shows you 3 arrows because you have to calibrate the accelerometer, and it's like, you know, stand it up on this side. And apparently, looks like we're back.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. Like I was saying, it's never a dull moment with the live show attempts. You should
No.
when we were trying to watch YouTube videos with people on the live stream, and I had no idea that the audio level was just blowing people's
Deafening.
eardrums up because it was fine for me. So all the comments are like, "Oh my god, it's so loud!" And I'm like, "Wee, this video is fun."
To the point that everyone was telling us about it the next week.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway,
Well, dude, you talking about videos? I had your YouTube channel running in the background while I'm trying to do this, which is what pretty much killed my.
I see. Bandwidth overload.
Yeah.
You know where I live.
Yeah. But
So
well, I was just talking about the screen on the Fluctus and how like it's a very cool concept, but we talked about this. It's on the bottom of the altimeter or the flight computer. So once it's mounted to the sled, the screen's not really going to do much good for you. But
Unless you made a window, I guess.
Nope.
yeah.
That's talking with Braden about that. We were talking the other day. Was mounted, cut a little square on the
Yeah,
bottom so you can
right.
see it.
And
Yeah.
then get a little peephole. Yeah. So it's it's a really incredible flight computer, and I'm super excited to fly it. But there are some growing pains, but you know, isn't there always?
Yes, it's brand new, and he seems willing to work through it all. And it didn't take him long in order to do the Bluetooth thing. So
Yeah, that's super cool. I saw he said that on the Rocketry forum because, like I said, the biggest complaint I would have had would to be having to lug a laptop out to recover. So having it in your
Yeah.
phone would be super
Yes.
nice. But it's one thing that's really cool about the way that he recommends setting it up for dual deploy too is
yeah,
for the main charge, he has you can set pretty much any condition you want. So he has at X altitude or at X speed. So if your drogue charge doesn't fire and it realizes it's going too fast, it will fire the main, which is could have saved me a few rockets, I'll say that.
yeah, you're not the only one.
So I think that's a pretty cool feature in its own. That I mean, for the price and anything comparable to it, it's real hard to beat. Oh no! Well,
Okay.
while we're waiting on Tim, we can also ask Matt, how's the 3-inch Punisher coming?
Oh yeah, it's coming along, all right.
He says he's gonna have it by Cloudburst. So
Yeah,
Big things are
I have
coming.
to have it. Yeah, I've got to have it done by Cloudburst.
maybe Matt needs a
but
Fluctus, huh?
I don't know. We're
Hey,
kind of looking
yeah.
at it. It'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
He lost
It
his
is pretty cool.
GPS.
That seems
Yeah.
very up Matt's alley. It's
Yeah, it
very
should be.
open
It does.
source.
Oh, it's open source. That's nice.
I don't know for sure that if it is.
Oh,
but,
okay.
you know,
I
it's-
mean, I was looking at the little programming bit there. That seems kind of That seems
That
fun.
part seems very Matt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I shouldn't just throw around the term open source like that when I have no
yeah.
horse in the race in the company. But
The inputs seem like something Matt would try to figure out something for.
Yeah. that
he's
could
gonna
be
put a
fun.
thermocouple in the nose cone and see how hot it gets.
What's the power supply for this guy? Is it you just hook up a lipo or you
Yeah,
hook up-
it's it says 1
You
or
can
2
use
S
old
lipo.
9 volts if you want.
All right, he's back.
There we go.
We're good. No more 9 volts.
Now that you're back, I wanted to transition. You sent me a message after we did a live stream with our friend Joe Barnard a couple weeks ago, and Joe brought to the attention if you hit the ground with a Wildman nose cone with a speed that he described as sporty, they
Sporty.
tend to have
I like
issues.
that sporty.
But this was you were already in development in upgrading the nose cones, right? Because some people had some issues with them for really high speed stuff.
Yes. So what we did was there was a couple issues that I tried to deal with all at once. And the typical thing is you have a problem, you don't try one thing, you throw 3 or 4 things at it at one time.
Yeah, we
So-
all have project cars. We know how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the big thing that everyone was saying it was the wind angle, and that both me and the manufacturer don't think that was the real issue. But if that's what people want to believe, we'll let them believe that. We did change the wind angle a little bit just to make them happy, but we also put a sleeve on the inside of the cone first. So before it gets filament wound on the outside, there is a sleeve over the mandrel. So the wind angle has nothing to do with it anymore. The main culprit was the 54 cones, and it was just because they were so damn thin
Right.
is where we were getting a lot of issues from. We beefed them up just a hair, just enough to stop these issues. The other thing is we made them a nice, pretty red now.
I did. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I like it.
It matches.
It not only matches, but the other thing that it gives us is if there is any dry glass, you can see it now.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fair.
Oh.
So when it was black, you couldn't see them. Now it sticks out like a sore thumb,
Got it.
which will help with quality control.
Yeah, definitely.
So
And is this going to be for all the cones?
So what we're doing is the wide angle changed on everything. The all of the 54s are going to have the sleeve now, and we're putting the sleeve on the high temp ones. It's not in everything yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
Okay.
So
the 4-inch ones
all,
included.
all of the cones, yes, all of
Okay.
the cones right now have changed the wind angle. Everything that I have in stock has the higher degree of wind angle, and we're also doing a better job of making sure there are no dry spots in it. There's a higher resin content in the cone. So I really think that any issues that we had were most likely from dry spots. I never saw any of the 4-inchers that everyone was talking about because I don't think they ever came back.
Right.
The one culprit that I did see was a 6-inch one that looked like a slinky.
Oh.
Guys, that wasn't even a high temp cone, and they put it was a minimum diameter P,
Oh, my God.
and they hung weight from inside the cone. Very cool project.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna
Very
say,
cool project.
I know one of the ones that people put some attention to was an N5800 at Balls, and I was like, look,
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from to a certain degree, but if you know the history of that motor versus minimum diameter rockets, if there's a weak point, that motor will find it.
Yep.
So, but
I mean, was there a handful of people that have actually flown an N5800 successfully in a minimum diameter rocket?
right. Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
all
we could probably
Yep.
count them on a couple hands.
well north of
Yeah.
Mach 4. It's a brutal
Mhm.
flight. So so when
Yes.
you say a sleeve, it's like a fiberglass sock, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
a bit of an addition. Well, not I guess an additional layup inside, but there's a cloth layer before the winding.
Right. And it's with no seams, so that it makes it.
Oh no,
Oh, man.
this is a travesty.
Come on,
really is.
Elon.
Listening to
Elon.
this is going to be interesting for the audio listeners. Just the sudden stop and all of us reacting is going to be
Yeah.
fun.
Um,
If you
what
didn't
were you
gather
talking
from
about?
context,
the
Tim's
song,
disconnected
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like you were saying, the thinness of those 54 nose cones does make a lot of sense for that to be the issue. So having that extra layer of defense is probably extremely beneficial.
Did he say that he was going to roll out the red fiberglass on the other sizes as well, or is it just the 54?
Yeah, it'll be all of them.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Gnarly.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
red
for
is faster.
night launch stuff too.
That's what I was
the
thinking
translucent.
too. Yeah, get a light
Why
up
is that?
in
Is
there.
you can put lights inside and.
Yeah, you could see them through the translucent glass.
Mm.
And for anyone that's with us now, stay tuned for the announcement at the end
Yeah.
of the video.
We're gonna get there or die trying.
We need Tim for that though, so you know,
Yeah.
work with
Yeah.
us here.
Not our announcement to make. Well, while we're waiting, any updates on rocketry stuff going on at the moment? Taylor, any Hercules updates?
I've been elbows deep in race car stuff, so no rockets till this weekend.
How's race car stuff?
I think good.
Good. All right.
Well, we know Matt's rocket updates. Postart, you got anything?
Unfortunately, I have none.
Yeah, me
all
either.
all you have is
Yeah.
time for your rocket stuff.
No, he's been working a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna.
similar
good.
problem. When I lost my job, I also lost my free time, which is super annoying. But I freelance now, so basically I'm working all day every day. Gotta keep those bills paid. We're gonna make things happen. I have my 3-inch minimum diameter is on the front burner. I'll say now. That's next project.
Does that mean it started?
No.
It just means it's
it
the
means I'm
nearest to be
really,
started.
really wanting to start it. Yeah. It means I have most of the stuff at least.
Oh.
I think he's back.
I think I have it fixed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But
Did I miss anything good?
we were just giving updates on how none of us have worked on any rockets for the past week, so
Yeah.
really riveting stuff over here.
Well, hell, guy. Well, you know what? Since you brought up building rockets, I just built one today.
Hey,
Nice.
what do we got?
This is the Mini Cherokee.
Very nice.
New from
that's a-
Wildman?
Brand new from Wildman.
Wow.
Putting it
All
in.
fiberglass rocket. Comes with everything, right down to the rail guides, as we were talking about before, rail guides.
Yeah.
I know that was another episode I was watching.
All right, it's in the chat. Sorry.
Who the
I was-
heck still uses... Go ahead.
Oh yeah, the half-inch launch lugs.
Yeah, the half-inch launch lugs.
Part of me,
we
it's really dumb, but part of me just wants to fly a rocket off of a huge old rod, just to get the experience.
You don't really. You think you do.
hold on. All right, let's see. Which one of you can guess is the last guy I know that wanted to use a rod in a rocket launch? You all know. him.
Crazy Jim.
Nope. Not too far off, though. Not too far off.
Hmm.
Clifton.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah,
I was gonna
that makes
That
sense.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Hard to believe he's got rockets that old.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, it's the spool. He actually has a 1-inch launch rod that he uses out at Midwest Power every year for the spool.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say Clifton had a little bit of a mind melting moment when we told him that I don't remember what. Oh no, I don't remember what rocket it was, but we told Clifton that the rocket was older than Shane, and he was like,
yeah.
what?
He was what?
Yeah,
was
what
the-
was that?
I can't remember. I don't
Was
think
it the 7.5 inch?
maybe it was a 7.5
Corkscrew?
corkscrew.
I think it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have been the 12. The 12-inch is like 15 years old or something like that at this point, though. That's pretty
So
wild.
still not far off.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say what Clifton's mind was blown up because he, I think it was a 7.5-inch corkscrew. We told him that rocket was older than Shane, and he was just like, "What? What?"
You could see him doing the math in his head. He's like, "There's no way." And like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Yeah, that's like Taylor flew his first high power motor before Shane was born, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Close, yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
the exact date on that, but
We're all feeling really old these days. Shane and I went to a
And-
concert yesterday, and it was the 10-year anniversary of this band's release of an album, and I was there for the 10-year or the original tour 10 years ago. I was like, wow, I'm starting to get up there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but isn't this 20 years of Wildman?
It's actually we're in 20 now. I started in January of 2004.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking it was
Congrats.
04.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, 20 years of doing this. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I would have never thought that it's turned into what the hell is going on now. So
That's awesome.
it's
Oh.
Oh man, too much. Okay, commercial break here.
Yeah, we're
Well-
using way too much bandwidth.
Me and Braden certainly spent all of the money we were able to acquire as teenagers with
You've helped contribute to the growth of
with
the
Tim
Wild Man.
when we weren't buying I don't know, our other hobby things.
Yeah.
Music
I mean,
equipment.
yeah, for me it really was just sort of a rocketry is where all of my money goes type situation. 'Cause I didn't have a lot of it disposable. Once I got the one guitar, I was like, I'm kind of set on that front. We got the
so. Can you tell how many people are actually watching now?
yeah, right now we have 131.
Wow.
Cool.
That's probably
Is
a
that-
new
is that
record.
good for you
yeah,
guys?
that's probably a new record for a Rocket Vlogs live stream.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you for bringing your
Cool.
clout.
Yeah.
Guys, my pleasure. You're all good guys, and you help me out when I need it. All right, let's see if this will work. There it is. Now you're gonna get me twice.
Yeah, that'll happen. I can boot the other one of you out though. I have the god
Hey.
powers. All right. Well, while we're all waiting here, if you're watching this, do us a favor, press the like button. It goes a long way. If you're not familiar with the podcast, we do an episode weekly, and then typically we don't intend to do it live. I've done a couple live on accident, but we usually do a live stream after the podcast, so it's typically Tuesday nights, but Shane and I were at a show last night, so that's why we brought this all together for tonight. And
A lot of times it's just us talking about whatever we've decided to talk about, and sometimes
Yep.
we have guests.
that's such a riveting promise. And if you're interested, usually it's not like there's not fun guests, and we just talk, we just ramble. So if that's something that you like,
Hey, apparently some people do like it.
dude,
so-
yeah, and those people
Yeah.
are champions.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to those people that listen to us ramble about nothing. Oh,
Oh, he's
Perfect.
back. There we go.
He's back.
I think I'm there. Do we
Yeah,
have sound
we're
too?
good.
Yep.
All right. We'll see how long this lasts.
Hopefully long
I'm feeling
enough.
good about it.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
jump right into it while we have time then.
Hold on.
Oh,
There
So
it is.
we got a few questions from Patreon if we want to field those before the big announcement is made. How do we feel about that?
Go for it.
All right. Well, our good friend Jonathan Gabery says, "What is your favorite overall rocket design, and is there any more new rockets coming to the Wildman catalog?"
Yes. What's my favorite rocket design? Well, that's kind of obvious.
The Wildman? Yeah.
The Wildman rocket. Duh.
That makes
Makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, that was my very first one. Man, the Dark Star is really hard to beat.
That's true.
It really
Well,
is. I'm always like split fins.
It's like asking us what our favorite rocket is. It's pretty obvious that
Yeah.
we're Punisher fans around here. So, all right.
Yep.
Sean Cooper says,
Uh,
what are some of the standout shenanigans of yours from over the years? Things like Jim's skid mark in the N10,000 drag race or the K2045s in the Omega Dark Star flight. Love to hear a few stories from the most memorable projects like this and maybe some of the sketchiest as well.
Dude, I've got 20 years of stories. Evidently, he's not from where we normally fly at. Sketchy ones? Wow. There's a few. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm a tap now.
Yeah, I was
keep
gonna say, you
them,
gotta-
appropriate.
Good call.
The K2045s in the Mega Dark Star. That was the coolest thing and the scariest thing I've ever done at the same time.
Yeah, it was
When
scary to watch.
You see a 300-pound rocket lift off the ground and just hang in midair, waiting for a P to light.
Yeah, that.
Yes.
I remember watching it because Taylor was there, but I just watched the Discovery and it just like kicks and starts coasting a little bit, and then the 6-inch motor lit. I was like, I don't know if that was exactly how that was supposed to go.
It was, I swear, everyone on the flight line,
Yes, it was. I planned it that way.
the whole flight line gasped at that moment as it started to backslide.
Oh, it did. If you go in slow motion, you can see it actually started to come back down a little bit, and it got a little bit of a
It couldn't have
cocktail
really
off to the
lit
side.
any later.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. All right,
Lesson learned.
Dylan Bender says, one of my all-time favorite rocket launches is the flying phaser. What inspired you to do this flight, and how did the snowmobile fare after its crash landing? I feel like there a little more clarification is necessary on that. So we want to tell us what the flying phaser was.
Well, the phaser is a snowmobile made by Yamaha that's air-cooled, which is why we picked the phaser, because it didn't need the antifreeze. I got approached by the Discovery Channel to fly something stupid. And, me and Jim Bob are sitting out on the back porch after a long day of working in a rocket shop, sitting back having a couple of pops, and they said, well, can you fly something crazy? And I'm going, well, what are you looking for? I'm going, I'm not flying a car. That's not going to happen. I'm looking around, and I see my wife's windmill in the garden. I go, well, that would be kind of cool. And they kind of poo-pooed that. And I look at the back garage, and there's 2 snowmobiles sitting on the trailer. I'm going, how about a snowmobile? I could hear their ears perk up going, oh, yeah, can you do that? And I'm going, what did I just get myself into?
And
that's
it was
how
an
started.
N10,000, right?
Yeah, it was the N10,000. Halfway through it, we knew it wasn't going to fly on the N10,000. It wasn't going to fly properly on the N10,000, but they didn't want us to use anything bigger because then it would have been really dangerous. The N10,000 couldn't get to the flight line.
Right.
Is the best way to put it. So, yeah, it was a flying snowmobile. I rode it to the launch pad.
That was my favorite part.
Put it on the launch pad. We flew it, and I rode it back out of the field, kind of.
Okay, so it fared all right enough.
Yes.
Okay.
And just, I don't think I've really said this publicly before, but what the hell, I'll give it to you. The thing crashed because I put the battery in backwards in the remote control.
What, for like the recovery gear?
Yes. So I had the MissileWorks chicken switch, and I was so nervous and in such a hurry that I put the 9-volt in backwards.
Oh my god.
Huh.
I was sitting there hitting the button, and absolutely nothing happened. I don't know if it would have saved it or not, but hey,
We can say it would have.
Yeah.
We've all had a
yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
cool.
We've all had a little bit of a problematic
Would have been
experience
cool,
with a
so.
9-volt or two. Matt most
Yeah.
recently.
Yes.
All right, he needs a new Wildman demon. His is in the ground in Argonia somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
know a guy.
Anybody?
Okay.
I know
All
a guy.
right, Michael Grayless.
Actually, I think we just sent one out the other
Nice.
day.
Michael Grayless asks, as a Wildman Club member, I look forward to the holiday sale every year. So I was wondering how much planning goes into it, and how do you decide what to include in the specials?
I fly by the seat of my pants. Realistically, we have an idea of what we're going to do beginning of November, but after that, specifics, we don't know. If there's a cool rocket that I've done for somebody throughout the year, I might throw it in there. That's typically how we come up with the new stuff.
I was gonna say,
And in years past, we've even had contests to see for new rockets.
oh yeah, I was gonna say one thing you can plan on well in advance is that you'll be busy with the orders until May.
Well, actually, now that I've got this, we'll keep
right.
going first.
Well, that actually is the end of the Patreon stuff. So if you're ready, it's
Really?
it's your time. If you're ready to go, we got 140 people watching right now. Yeah.
Do you? All right. So there's been a lot of talk in the community lately about. Well, a few months ago, I put out that I was looking for help because we were expanding. How do I say it? So no other way to do it. So about last March, I don't even know what got into me, but it got into me. And I made a call to Curtis Turner and asked Curtis if he was interested in selling the rocketry business. And there was a little bit of chuckling back and forth between us, going, "Yeah, right, yeah, sure." And it was, believe it or not, it was pretty amicable. I mean, there was some bad blood between us for a while, and one thing led to another, and conversation kept going, and a little bit more back and forth, nothing really too serious, and I'm gonna say December-ish, we started talking. And one thing led to another, and right now there is a deal between me and him. Hold on. Oh, gosh, I'm not going to be able to see it now. Basically, we have reached an agreement to where I'm buying all the mandrels, the nose cone mandrels. I'm buying the tubing mandrels and the equipment to manufacture all my own tubing and nose cones. Curtis is going to step back away from this industry. It's going to take me a couple of months to get all this up and running and learn exactly what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
But we will. I'm sure that there's some questions out there. I'm surprised that the thing isn't blown up yet.
Yeah.
Or is
It'll
it?
start here in a second. Yeah. They're a little bit behind, so.
So, basically, I'm buying the mandrels and the equipment to make all of the rocketry stuff. Curtis and Composite Warehouse have agreed to a no-compete for many years. And we both realize, and he does, that there is some stuff out there that is still owed. He has said that he's going to honor it and do his best to clean it all up. I am going to do my best to help with that. He is responsible for it. We are not assuming the debt, but we will assist him and the customers in trying to get it all cleaned up. I figure it'll take a couple of months before I have everything up and running and we're able to start selling the product. Right. And now I'll go ahead and take some questions that I'm sure.
Yeah, I was going to say we already have a couple. Somebody, Gene Pitts specifically asked, "Are you going to produce the composite warehouse kits?"
Yes, part of the purchase is all of the composite warehouse kits. We get all of those rights. We will offer those along with all of the old Pro Line kits, the old Performance kits, basically everything that Mad Cow doesn't have.
Okay, I'm gonna need another full scale Arcus, and I gotta try that again. Mine's in a hole.
There is an Arcus mandrel.
Well, let me know when those are ready. So yeah, if anybody else has any questions, drop them in the live YouTube chat right now. Somebody says color tubes and conical nose cones with question marks.
Yes. So, color tubes, how do I put this, is kind of the bane of my existence with this stuff, but I'm not going to make it go away. But there will be a premium for it. One of my big problems with the color tubes all the way along was the fact that it's virtually impossible to try and stock it. So when you want a color tube, there's going to be a premium for it, and you're going to have to wait a little bit. We're not talking about months. We're probably going to be talking about a couple of weeks, but there's just no way to stock 7 different colors in 20 different sizes. You just can't do it. So it's going to be a special run of, So
basically,
but there will be also a premium to it. I don't have the numbers worked out yet, but I'm thinking probably a 20% premium for color tubing. My original goal and plan is to stay with the color that I'm using now, and if you want something different, it'll cost.
The Wildman Custom Shop.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Taylor?
Basically what he summed up at the end there, that there was going to be a standard and that you could choose for it on top of that if you want the colored stuff.
Right.
It seems like it is all of the mandrels, right? Because people are asking for specific things like Nike smoke nose cones, all of that.
Okay, so the Nike smoke nose cone. Here's the conical nose cones. Yes. The real smoke that everyone wants is not a mandrel. That's a mold. So no, not for the mold. I'm not doing molded stuff.
That's fair.
But I will do the filament wound one. So yes and no.
For a personal question, what about the 11.5 inch stuff?
I was waiting for that. I figured it'd be Jesse. So yes, this is part of it. Is the usable 11.5 inch filament wound mandrel, along with the tubing mandrel. It will be available. It's probably going to be one of the very last things that gets completed, but that is in the deal.
There you go, Taylor. That means we can be more reckless with the 12-inch Punisher. We'll be able to get a nose cone.
Well, I kind of need one too, guys. Just saying.
Would you kind of need one by Airfest by chance?
Okay. Oh, now I get that. Well, I have to talk to a few friends because I'm still short a motor.
Oh, I see. We're flying both the big rockets at Airfest this year. So if you want to round it off and make it a big rocket party out there, we invite anybody else to as well.
Well, I'm planning on doing 2 at once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
O and P.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
Jesus.
He's doing it again, boys.
Yeah, the Wildman is back in full swing.
I'm going to do my best.
Jesse, I've asked him how to pronounce it. He will not give me a definitive answer. Ulabari, model rocket guy. He asks, Tim, are dealers like myself going to be able to resell some of these items?
Yes.
There you go.
So the plan is that my dealer network that I already have will stay intact. It will just you'll have more options.
Awesome. He spelled it out phonetically. I think I got it correct. All right. Tony Turi asks, could we get a fiberglass AIM 54 Phoenix? Speaking of rockets that don't like to fly very straight.
Send me a sim program. I'm not saying it. I might be able to do it now.
That's true. I think a lot of
it all depends on the
people don't
code.
realize if they reach out to you, you can pretty much make any. I'm not going to say anything, but
if it uses what he has available, then
right? Yeah,
probably yes.
Yeah. The biggest sticking point is the nose cones. And I'm not going to produce a nose cone to make 10 rockets. It's just not. It's not fiscally responsible.
Jeremy Sim asks, do you need an Australian distributor? There you go.
I'm not going to turn you down. I'm not going to make you a dealer for 10 kits.
Oh my God. Simply Rocketry says make the 12-inch Punisher a kit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I'm not saying no.
Yeah, someone wants to write a check for it. I'm sure he'd be
I was
happy
just saying,
to do
all
it.
glass one is gonna get pricey. That's gonna be
I haven't even looked. So the Mega Dark Star is actually not filament wound. I'm pretty sure it's cloth.
Old G10. Yeah,
that's how old
crazy.
it is. Yeah.
You still have the whole thing, right?
Yeah. It flew on the P successfully. We cooked the booster with the O.
Yeah, that flight was crazy. It was just the P motor, it took off like a 4-inch rocket with an M in it. And it was so crazy because it was clean out of sight, and it might have been Terry on the mic. He's like, all right, we're going to go to the next pad. And I was like, for the love of God, can we hold on for a second? There's like a 500-pound rocket above us.
Okay, so hold on. Which one of you guys remembers what the comment was that Bob said?
Oh,
the first
about
flight.
The parachute.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say it, but I know what it is.
I do remember that, yeah. It's a deep cut for folks in the know. But, we still got 157 people watching, so just as a recount here for those that might have missed the announcement, Tim is buying out Composite Warehouse and Curtis Turner and will be manufacturing all of his own.
Not buying out Composite Warehouse. I'm buying out all of his rocketry stuff. Okay. He's going to continue to exist, but not in the rocketry world. Is the best way to put it.
Let me continue by saying I am not an attorney. Do not take any of the words I say as legal binding.
You're buying the assets, right?
Yeah.
That would be the...
Right, I'm buying all the assets. And, Braden, do you have that thing that you can put up for...
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, Wildman Hobbies and Tim Lehr have reached an agreement with Curtis and Composite Warehouse we are purchasing all the rocket kits, the rights to make the rocket kits, all of the mandrels, all of the equipment to manufacture all of our own tubes and nose cones. We have agreed to a no-compete clause with them for several years. We both of us realize that there are some things out there that are not completed yet, and if you are one of the people that has one of these, I believe Braden's going to put up on the screen somewhere here an email address to contact Composite Warehouse if you are one of these people that has something owed to you. He's going to do his best to take care of all of this. He realizes it's there. We will facilitate any way that we can. But Wildman's is not responsible for it.
Right.
but anyone who knows me knows what that means.
So the website or the email address is listed as orders@compositewarehouse.com. It's in the pinned comment. So I feel like I should clarify here for people that had orders out that they hadn't paid for yet. You should have received an email from Curtis a couple weeks ago about him exiting the rocketry business, and your order is now canceled. So please don't reach out to him if you had something ordered that you haven't paid for yet.
Right. This is only stuff that's already paid
if,
for.
If you have something that is owed to you that you have already paid for, orders at Composite Warehouse. It's pinned right now. Shoot him a message. Island Time 100, $5 donation, says rocketry just became better. How's that feel, Tim?
Thank you. We're open, like we were talking about earlier. This is 20 years for Wildman.
Making big moves.
So
that's great.
Nikki Harris asks, will it remain?
If you guys didn't notice, there's some signs behind me. You see the Aero Pack one down there at the bottom. Me and my wife, we purchased that middle of last year, and we're hoping that Aero Pack has become more available now. We've made some deals throughout the year, and we're working with Mad Cow and producing all their fiberglass stuff, and have been for a year. We've actually got several dealers, that more than we have in the past. We're Canada, Europe. There's some guy from Australia that wants to be a dealer. I just
Jeremy
heard tonight.
Sim. He's a longtime supporter of the podcast, of my channel, my Patreon, everything. He's a very good guy. Nikki Harris asked, will it remain on the Composite Warehouse website or move to the Wildman website?
It will move to the Wildman website. Do not expect this stuff to pop up overnight. It's going to take, realistically, I'm guessing at least a month, if not 2 months, for me to get a handle on all this stuff. I've still got to go to Pennsylvania and fill a truck.
I imagine.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
We got a couple fun just comments. I know where my future paychecks are going now, sigh, and my poor credit card will never recover from this. That's that's pretty relatable.
Thank you.
How about Rocket Poxy, asks Phil.
Sorry, dude. West 610 is all I can tell you. Rocket Poxy, I'm not getting it. I know the owner. I'm not getting answers from him. We've called. We get no answers. It's a thing of the past. Is the best way to put it.
Island Time, another $2 donations, asks, will Kennett Performance Hobby still be a dealer?
If Ken chooses to, yes. I reached out to, believe it or not, Ken was the first person I reached out to once I felt that this was a done deal. We signed a letter of intent a while ago, and once the letter of intent was signed, I actually reached out to Ken to let him know that, yes, he will still be a dealer. He won't be able to, he'll be able to come and pick his stuff up if he wants to, but it's a much longer haul now.
Yeah, a little different on that one. So keep the questions coming. West 610 is way better. You know what? I really, really love that stuff. That actually, what about Proline epoxy?
Yep, Proline also. Another name from the past. I love Proline, but I hate Proline at the same time. What if you just look at that can? You've got black shit.
2 pairs of gloves, but
2 pairs of gloves and clothes that you don't like because you're still getting.
You
aren't
it kidding too. When I made the Mach 2 video, I got like a little tiny bit. What's like is there some sort of? We didn't even get all of our security deposit back. Sorry, we don't need a certain amount of time to pass.
Yeah, it's fine.
There's a white integrated desk in the house that I built the rocket on, and I got some on there. I tried to wipe it off, and it was just like a painted wood desk. So I sanded the desk to hide that I had spilled that black epoxy on the white desk.
And it was probably still there.
I actually got through it, and you know what? I'm gonna say I left it in better condition than when I found it. It was like freshly resurfaced. It was very nice. Gene Pitts, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Super chat contribution. I don't know if donation is the right word.
Will 7.5 stuff be available? Nose cones.
Yes, there's mandrels.
So
yes,
I didn't know if that was going to be something that wouldn't normally be available.
So I can anything that is available now or was available
Right.
before it all came down off the internet will be
Okay.
available. The one main thing that you guys are going to see change is the color. I want to stress that as best I can. I'm not going to make it all go away, but if you want the color, you're going to pay a premium for it. Because in my opinion, it's guys, I have over 6 figures in inventory in red tubing. So multiply that by how many colors did he have? 6, 7?
I was gonna say it stacks up quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't need $1 million worth of fiberglass tubing laying around.
I would argue that I do, but that's just the hoarder problem that I have.
Well, we're just talking raw tubes, not even kits
exactly.
Yet. So I mean, when you add it up, all right. So it's easy to have. Okay, so I have a lime green tube. You want a lime green rocket? Well, you're not going to want a lime green body tube with a red coupler,
right,
and a purple motor mount and a black nose cone. Well, maybe the black nose cone, but you get the idea. So to make one rocket, I have to make 3 tubes.
Yeah, the Lego colors rocket.
I never was into the colored stuff anyway, so.
Right, and then I like the color stuff. Don't get me wrong, I really do. As a flyer, I love it because I hate painting. Once you do cry loud once, where that crackles on you.
Braden knows.
Yeah, trust me. I roll way too deep in the amount of effort I spend painting stuff on a lot of things. But
Maybe
Shane?
Go ahead. I was gonna say maybe you could market the multicolor kits, kind of like how Volkswagen did the Harlequin paint job.
Oh yeah,
just like a specialty thing.
Do it. 5 years from now, 25-year Wildman Harlequin Wildman 3.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, what I really see coming out of it is doing like special runs of it. And Black Saturday. I'll do this kit is gonna be lime green. This one's gonna be tangerine orange, or
it's a good idea.
Something like that. I won't mind doing it in batches. I just want to mention this and just say I want to say thank you to Curtis for working with me and making all this possible, because it wouldn't be possible with him. Like I said, we're going to do our best to work with him to try and get through all of this, because realistically, he's going to help me through every step of this. So.
Yeah, it is. Like we've had conversations about Curtis on this show before, but it always boiled down to the stuff that he produced was always very, very high quality. So above all else, he definitely knows how to make a good composite component. So I'm excited that you're going to be able to keep that lineage going. What's something you're most excited about? Like, do you have any plans for a special kit or something?
Oh, dude, I am so nervous. It's not even fun. So, you guys have been here. So, you know where the motorhome used to sit?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, we're going to do a little venture here. I'm going to try this. See what happens.
Oh, he's gambling.
I'm actually out in the shop right now.
Yeah,
if you can't tell. All right, so hold on. So the outside shop where the motorhome sat has changed a little bit. But it's now got heat, a whole lot more lighting. Everything is cleaned out except for, well, that thing has to stay.
Yeah, of course.
As you can see, there's a few motors in here.
Yeah.
This is the Black Saturday stuff. Waiting for the rest of it to be delivered. But yeah, I've spent the past couple of weeks doing things out here, putting the heating system in. We've got a giant dust collector.
Whoa.
That's going to actually improve. Just a whole lot of work. We actually put up a new wall. the dreaded chop saw from hell. That's you will be getting square cuts for everybody.
Yeah. We need the applause sound. Your video cut out. I think it's salvaging.
It's still good on the stream.
Oh, it's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've had that chop saw for a while, but it was out in the other shop, and it was not exactly user friendly. Is the best way I can put it. I had the local farm welder guy come out and told him exactly what I wanted to do. And he said, well, yeah, I could make something. I gave him the saw. It came back 3 days later with that W steel thing, whatever that is, on the bottom. I was thinking of like a 4-inch angle iron, and he made that thing. It's square to the blade. It doesn't matter what diameter it is. It's going to be square. As I'm trying to square it up, I find out I'm trying to use a tube to square it, and I'm using one that came from the manufacturer that I'm using now, and those cuts are not square.
Huh.
But it's not me. It was the other guy.
All right, we got a couple more questions. Kip Dogradas
Go ahead.
says, can we have natural fiberglass, no colors?
Sure. Yes.
Tony.
It might be a wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we should reiterate, because the amount of people watching keeps fluctuating, that it's going to be a few months before this is fully integrated. Tony says, will Tim sign a motor case if I put it in the order instructions? I don't think it's gonna stay, but yeah. Honest John knows cones.
I believe so. Because he did offer one, so I think it's just the 3-to-1s.
Yeah,
but
that's what I think for the filament wounds as well. So extra charge for square cuts. No, those are free from what I understand. Those are on the house.
Yes, they will be free. Yeah. Yep.
Yes, Tim is going to produce the tubes and cones in-house. Well, I assume Tim and everybody else associated with the Wildman brand.
Which brings me up to the next thing I wanted to bring up. We are still looking for help. Anybody want to move to the metropolis that is Van Oren?
That's the hard selling point.
Hey, I've got a 12,000-foot waiver from my backyard.
That is true. You just call it in and fly rockets whenever you want. I'm going on my K1103 break. I'll be back.
The employee discount is wonderful.
Oh yeah, there you go. Well, if you're, especially if you're in the Chicago area and you're handy or really willing to learn and a fast learner, send Tim an email.
You know what? We'll teach you how to use a CNC machine.
I just want to learn how to use that. Do I have to work for you to be taught that?
Well, you're gonna have to hang around for a while.
All right. Well, we still got some questions rolling. We'll put in a last call here. Is anybody questions for Tim while we got him? And it's getting pretty late here. We rolled pretty deep, so I'd like to try and
especially on the East Coast.
I'd like to try and get this all uploaded so we can have our podcast episode and the replay of this up as soon as possible. This podcast for the audio listeners is going to be a little chaotic. So if you're still by chance listening to this, I apologize. But, we're working with what we got here.
Yeah, and I apologize for the issues earlier. You know what? I dumped the it was the new webcam that I bought.
I was going to say, Taylor's probably loving it, though, because he is notoriously the one here with the worst internet. So
it's true.
He gets to ride the high horse today.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting for mine to take a dump, too. But...
Just because.
Just because, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up taking the iPad, flipping it over the screen, the computer screen out here in the shop, and that's what I'm using.
Somebody says ETA on.
And it's sitting right next to the webcam. I feel so redneck right now.
Modern solutions. ETA on Black Friday orders.
It's not quite the TV on the TV.
Yeah, exactly. Someone asked ETA on Black Friday orders. I'm assuming that's a Aerotech waiting situation.
All depends on what the order is. Every day there are orders going out. I mean, we ship out 40 to 60 orders a day right now. It depends on what it is. I don't know, the little tour around earlier, 54s were very light on. If you didn't have 54s, there's a good chance that it's out there. But not quite everything. Like H14s we don't have. We just got in over 30 M1297s.
Oh my god.
I had half a pallet of M1297s.
We need a few of those actually. We'll talk.
Yeah. Dave from Michigan put a post on the forum the other day. All it was not a happy face, but not a sad face. And I knew exactly what it meant, so I replied to him and said, "We have all of your order except for the L1090."
We're trying, I swear to God. Seb asks, where'd it go? How will making tubes in the Wildman shop affect tube pricing?
It won't. The main reason for me to do this was not pricing it, and to be honest with you, it wasn't trying to get all of the nose cones. The main reason for me to do this was to solve supply chain issues. I ran into them at the end of last year. Those who know me, I don't like being on the hook to you guys, my customers, and not be able to give you an answer as to why I can't fulfill your order. With all the Black Saturday stuff, I said up front, Aerotech is saying February, the end of February. And I'll stick to that. The fiberglass stuff, I was originally told 8 to 12 weeks. Well, 8 to 12 weeks rolls by, and lo and behold, I still don't have everything, which means I don't have everything to send out to you guys. And now I'm sitting here with egg on my face. It's the best way that I can put it. And I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I fulfill my obligations.
Cool. I think customers probably appreciate that.
No, that's my goal. That's
Joe
my goal.
Stevenson asked, do you have any leads on replacement for the ComSpec trackers?
No.
I was going to say...
Fluctus, Altus. There are other options out there, but nothing is the same as ComSpec.
Yeah, Alex is on the Rocktree forum. He's selling some homemade ones that I have a few sitting up here actually, but I haven't flown any of them yet. You have to 3D print the case for them and everything, and it's certainly a DIY replacement. But yeah, as far as the readily available stuff, it's going to have to be sourced outside of Wildman. Or you can buy a GPS system from wildmanrocketry.com.
Right. If you're looking for the RF stuff, look at the falconry industry. That's where it originally came from.
Wildman at Balls this year?
Guys, just look at my schedule. So this year is going to be a little rough. I think I have Mini Midwest Power. Within a week and a half of that, I have to be in New York for LDRS. And then the following week, I have to be in New Mexico for Spaceport.
Good Lord.
And by the way, I'm driving to all of these.
Good Lord. I was going to say, because what is it?
Yeah.
Like a 28-hour drive to Black Rock from you or something like that?
I don't know. I've never driven the Black Rock, and I'm not going to drive the Black Rock. I flew there once.
I went for the first time last year, and it was really stupid for me to wait that long because now I'm 2 hours further away than I was when I lived in Idaho. So, that's
right. I mean, spaceported is kind of cool. Like I said, LDRS. So by the time I'm done with spaceport, I'm probably going to be a little bit burnt out and want to take a little time off after being, driving probably close to 3,500 miles
Yeah, that's
in under 3 weeks.
yeah. Shane and I are well familiar with that. The old drive to Taylor's house, 26 hours, and
Yep.
work from his office for a week, and we do what we do, right? We gotta we make what we want to happen. This one is actually close to my heart as well. Is there going to be LDRS 42 commemorative hardware this year?
That's a damn good question.
If there's any way to know ahead of time, please, fill me in, because I hadn't budgeted for it last year, but as soon as I saw it, the credit card came out. So
You're going to need it for that new N4000 case for the Big Punisher.
Since we can replace the nose cone, I've been barking up the tree for a long time to do the propellant XO in the middle and then do all M2050s around it. But Taylor thinks it'll shred.
Well, now
Oh, man, no faith.
I'm kind of worried about the nozzles.
Yeah, we think
Propellant X is so hot.
Yeah, that's kind of what you ran into with the super white lightnings, right, Tim? In the big interceptor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that seems to be the consensus. There doesn't seem to be any other explanation for it.
We were talking to David Reese about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess that's a good. It wouldn't be that fun to blow up 6 motor cases at once. If we can avoid that.
Well, I didn't blow up 6 of them. Only blew up 1.
I'm just saying, if we did it, we would probably blow up all 6 if it was all propellant X stuff.
That's gonna be a sad day.
Yeah,
for us. Not immediately replaceable.
That was. I gotta tell you guys, that was probably the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. Was that all of that damage was one motor, and it wasn't even the big one. It was one of the M motors.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was just
Certainly
raining loaded M motors. It was a good time.
That did the light.
Yeah, that was crazy because people flew them right after that, didn't they?
I still have one. I've flown 3 of them.
Because I think only 2 lit, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If we
2 out of the 6 lit.
If we blew up 6 motor cases, I think that would be the time we have to use my YouTuber crying and starting a GoFundMe video. You get 1 card per YouTube career to pull that one off. So I'm really saving it for like when the house burns down or something. All right. I think that pretty much does it. Yeah.
Great.
We're looking like that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for being here, Tim. Thanks for choosing the Anti-Gravity Group podcast to debut this news.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you. It's been fun.
Oh yeah, I had to tell you one last thing. It was really funny. Somebody left a comment, and because we're always talking about Wildman stuff, so somebody asked if I was related to you. I was like, I could see how you might have got that impression, but Tim, just over the years, I think one of my favorite Tim stories is when we got the 4-inch Dark Star with the 54 and the 1/8-inch fins. And I posted on the Rocktree forum that we were going to do tip-to-tip glass because we wanted to put a 75 in it. And I was, 13, 14 at the time. And Tim calls me. He's like, dude, don't do that. Don't. I was like, well, we want to put this L motor in it. And he said, send me that fin can back. And he sent us the Extreme Dark Star fin can. And believe me, Tim, from 14 to 17-year-old me, phone calls, emails, the fact that he still talks to me is kind of an impressive feat in this world. So that's where the Wildman loyalty comes from.
It's kind of funny. That's one of the things that's kept me in this hobby is the people. And I fully believe in paying it back, and I still am 25 years later. I was the level 1 guy sitting there out at Bong in a gravel parking lot looking at an H220 with all of those parts sitting there going, how the hell am I going to tell the difference in between an 1/8-inch O-ring and a 5/32 O-ring in a gravel parking lot? And if you get it backwards, it's not going to be pleasant. And the poor guy sitting 5 feet away from me looked at me and goes, "Would you like some help?"
Yeah,
I'm going, "Would you please?" Next thing you know,
we've all been on.
my rocket lands in a parking lot and breaks a fin off.
You know what? I think Matt's the only one that hasn't had the broken fin experience yet. You put a rocket in the ground, so that's got to be next for him.
I think I've had a couple broken fins, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Taylor can claim one of those broken fins.
the snapped fin
Yeah.
crew. Yeah, I've had like 5 in the past couple years. All right. Well, anyway, thanks again for being here, Tim. We do a
My
little
pleasure, guys.
outro thing here. My name is Braden Carlson. You can find me on YouTube right here where you're watching this right now. Rocket Vlogs. You can find me on Instagram at BigB1011.
My name is Taylor Jesse, and you can find me on my YouTube channel which is at the Rocket Channel.
My name is Shane, or Postart. You can find me on YouTube at Postart Propulsions.
My name is Matthew Myers. I'm not on YouTube. Simple as that.
My name is Tim Lehr. I'm the Wildman. You can find me at wildmanrocketry.com.
Thank you guys so much for being here. We will see you next time.